Hey folks, Alan Manic, the Hot Rod Hippie here. This week's video, we're going to tap into my roots. As the son of a carpenter, we're going to see if I can shape metal with a claw hammer. Let's check it out. Now my goal here is to make this a fairly quick video, so let's just dive right into it. I've got two pieces of metal here that I went ahead and prepped up beforehand. They're about 6-7 inch circles that I'm using to create kind of a dished bowl shape for my finished product. We are doing shrinking in this video. I'm going to take this claw hammer, I'm going to see if I can do some tuck shrinking with it. Tuck shrinking is where you take a piece of metal, you use a fork of some kind. There are actually purpose-made tucking forks available on the market. You stick the piece of metal in there and you just give it a wrinkle. You give it a point where it gathers up the material that you then hammer it to go ahead and hammer it down in on itself and create a shrink. You are tuck shrinking. If you want to learn more about what shrinking is, I've got a video all about 8 metal shaping terms defined. You should really check that out. It's going to help you to learn what you're doing and articulate yourself better to people when you're asking for help. Part of the point here is just to show you that even with a tool, a $20 hammer from your local hardware store, you can shape metal. I mean, you could really probably pick up a rock off the side of the road and shape metal with it if you really want to. The other thing I am using is this half dome stake that I have. I picked this up off of eBay. It is meant to be a blacksmithing tool. When I got it, it was a very rough casting. I had to really sand it to make it look like this. If I can find it again on eBay, I'll drop it in the links down below. I might not be able to find it. We'll see if I can. You could probably use like the cap tank for a bottle of oxygen or acetylene, your welding gas. One of those would work in a similar concept as this half dome. I'm just using this because I have it. So let's get right into this. What we're doing with this, we're going to take this piece of sheet metal and we're going to create those tuck points. We're going to create those shrink points. I'm going to use the claw hammer and turn it sideways on that metal to create that pucker point. Create that point where the material is gathered up. When you do that, you're bringing the outer radius of this circle in on itself. You're going to be shortening the distance around the overall outside, but the material still has the same amount of material within that realm. This piece is 3003 aluminum and it is 50 thousandths thick when I'm starting. As we hammer these tucks, these shrink points in on themselves, this material will actually get thicker as we go. Now, the proper way to do this really would probably be to use a soft face hammer of some kind, a wooden mallet, a leather face slapper, a plastic shaping mallet, something like that that's going to hammer on there a little softer, so I'm not risking stretching the material by hammering steel on steel with aluminum in between. However, I want to do this as simple and straightforward as I can for you, not introducing tools you need to buy. The concept is maybe you can go out to your garage right now without investing any money in tools, grab a piece of scrap metal, grab a claw hammer, and see how this process starts to work so you can teach yourself a little bit of something for down the road. So once we create those tuck points, once we create those shrink points, all I need to do is go back over to the half dome and I just hammer those down. I hammer them in on themselves and very quickly the material starts to move down around that dome. So for about 20 minutes I went around this thing, hammering, shrinking, hammering, shrinking, hammering, shrinking over and over again till I got what you see as this finished shape. This piece is irregular. It's a little bit out of whack here and there because I can't control the shrink as nicely as I could with some other processes with this method that I'm using. But at the deepest point, I have about 3/8 of an inch of dish into this piece now. So that is quite a bit of metal moving here. I went ahead and put the caliper on it again, and I'm somewhere around 54 to 55 thousandths thick now. So I've actually gathered up this material and shrunk it down by about 4 thousandths. Now, to go ahead and demonstrate how a tool actually can make the job both quicker and a better finished product, I went ahead and grabbed my Lancaster style Eastwood shrinker that I had on the shelf over here. I never use this anymore because I have real Lancaster shrinkers, and yes, they do work significantly better than this Eastwood one does, but I had it here. So I grabbed this thing, and I went ahead and started shrinking another piece of material. I had another blank, so I went around this piece over and over again. The tool allowed me to get my shrinks tighter together. I could move the piece just little bit by little bit to go ahead and shrink more consistently around the piece, more evenly around the piece. That means that my finished product is much more uniform. It's much more even all the way around. Again, this was a piece of 50 thousandths aluminum that I started with, and this piece ended up about 53 thousandths thick. This piece took me half the amount of time that this beat up piece I created with the claw hammer took. Now, obviously the tool dedicated to the job did a quicker and a cleaner job, but that's basically all there is to the big expensive tools. They do things that you could do by hand more often than not in a quicker and a cleaner fashion. But I could technically do it with a claw hammer. It would just take me forever to create a really clean finished product. All right, folks, I know I'm breezing through this topic, but the point of this wasn't to show you that the claw hammer is some long lost, ultimate, forgotten metal shaping tool. The point was just to show you that with a simple tool you probably already have lying around, you could shape some metal. You can learn something. You don't need to invest in the purpose-made tools just to give this a try, just to have an idea of what's going on here. Take that claw hammer, take some blank pieces of metal, head to your garage, your back porch, whatever, and shape them. Hammer them over a piece of wood, bang that ruffle together to create that shrink. Give it a try. See what happens. Doing will help you to learn from the process so you can better apply your skills and the ideas even when you have the tools. Alright folks, I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, drop it a like. Let me know in the comments down below. What did you think of this? I know it was a quick breeze through video, but I just want to make a quick video to still have you content for this holiday week and show you that you could do something with the tools you might already have lying around. Go ahead and drop a comment down below what you're thinking about this process. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this every week. Thanks for coming around, folks.